Mother here, back online after involuntarily being away for a while. I want to share my after action report of Hurricane Beryl, which came through the piney woods of East Texas on July 8, 2024 at 11 a.m. with 50 mile per hour winds and gusts to 70 miles per hour. That was here. South of us, Houston got tore up. We're still cleaning up here. As I record this a week later, 22 Houstonians in Texas lost their lives. The first death was a man in which a tree fell on him. In the end, timing is everything. Wrong spot, wrong time, end of the line. A big thank you to all those folks who reached out to check on us. Your thoughts and prayers mean everything. Yes, I've been here before, ridden out several vicious hurricanes over the years here in Texas and in Florida. And every time, the path of the hurricane equals two things: stuff tore up and no power for days. This time Beryl took out power here for 4 days and internet for a week. As I write this, there's still hundreds of thousands of people without power just 60 miles away from me. It is July in Texas and the daily temperatures hover around 95 degrees with sky-high humidity. Those without power are still suffering mightily from this. Beryl tore up this place. $30 million are preliminary estimates. And what I have learned is all the prepping in the world can be for naught. Until you test drive your emergency plan and know your preps, you don't know squat. You only think you know. I've been through over a dozen hurricanes and you'd think I'd have it all figured out by now. I'm close, very close. But this I know for a fact. You cannot just buy stuff and think you're good and think you're prepared. Nor can you count on the government, be that local, state, or federal, to come to your rescue. That type of help is always iffy and never immediate. So let's talk about how my mutual assistant group, my MAG, fared during Beryl. Members of my MAG were not as prepared as I had hoped. I had to loan extension cords and cook a couple of hot meals, charge up Peep's cell phones, and provide batteries for GMRS radios. I had to tend to a nasty leg wound. Yes, accidents happen when least expected or desired, and it did. Found out I was short on 4x6 bandages. One MAG member mentioned not having a hot meal that day, and I remembered and mentioned to them, "You bought MREs? They quickly make a hot meal." They had forgotten they had them. That's what I'm talking about. I have to put the Coleman Party Grill on their list of got-to-have items, along with some refillable propane fuel kegs. Going further on this topic, you had better know how to use all your preps. Have you actually bought MREs and not used a single one of them? They contain a chemical pouch, heater, and some water. Add it, and you have hot food. Just do it. Buying stuff and shelving it is not preparing. There is one prep I have which I'm unsure of in my usage or how confident I would be in using it, and that's a chest decompression needle. No one will volunteer to be the guinea pig, nor do I blame them. It's a bit unnerving thinking that at some point you would have to shove a 5-inch needle into someone's chest cavity. So what I learned from Beryl, I was short on a few things. Could have used more batteries. I will stock more, as I can see batteries will be a barter item. Cheap now, but priceless when emergencies roll our way. Rain or mud boots for all the folks in your MAG. Wet feet equals nasty attitude. Fix it. Need to get rainproof pants or treat pants with water repellent. Need a spare box fan and a second 12-inch oscillating fan. That's both been corrected. More extension cords. And no cheaping out here. Buying cheap will burn your residence down. They must carry the amperage you intend to run through them. I had at least 4 different extension cords out on loan. I had my 2 Dietz lanterns full and 4 spare bottles of lamp oil. All was good, but I now know I need at least a dozen bottles of lamp oil in reserve to feel prepared. I I have other lanterns using kerosene and a 5-gallon kerosene can, but I prefer not to use those inside. They soot and smoke up the house with an incorrect wick adjustment. I also learned my chickens are fast, very fast. So much so they can run between raindrops and dodge falling pine trees. There was a 100-foot pine snapped like a twig and landed on the chicken coop area. We put multiple holes in the roof, but the coop held. We build strong in Texas. All the chickens are alive, and there's not one wet chicken in the bunch. Here's some footage of a MAG member checking out the damage during the hurricane minutes after the tree came down. Sounded like a gunshot. I would not recommend going out in the middle of something like this to check on some chickens. It's not worth your life. Yeah, I know I sent a man into the danger zone, but it is what it is. When you got warrior poets around you, you feel better, and you are better. And when it's game on for them, it's hard, damn near impossible to stop them. So now let's talk about what worked. The Titan generator, flawless operation. 212 mAh, 2K incoming solar. It kept my refrigerator and freezer running, so no food loss there. Had ice and cold drinks, and in the 86 to 90 plus degree heat in the house. Now that was a lifesaver. It was the fans blowing, moving that thick humid air. I appreciated that. So glad I invested in an extra 35-gallon gas tank. It was used twice in Beryl when members of my MAG ran short of fuel, and I was able to provide it. My Arcfeld Pro from Olight. My EDC flashlight. I still have not recharged it, and I used the piss out of it. Most of all my Olights got used, not one failed. Flawless victory for Olight. Dietz lanterns, they were flawless. Wet bandanas around our necks help dissipate the body heat. Check. With the Coleman Party Grill, a pot and a skillet, I can cook anything. Jet boil flash for the win. It heated water for coffee a dozen plus times for peeps in the morning. The strainer kit is a bonus. I love me a hot cup of joe in the AM by Lamp Oil Light. Now we currently have 17 different water companies put out boil water noses. WTF. Figure out how that dilemma when you don't have electric. Our water filtration and water systems were flawless. But what I learned most of all, after you get to high mileage, the heat is a killer. He can sap your strength when you're a youngling or a middle-aged person, but as you age, it gets dicey to say the least. There is way less room for mess-ups when you're high mileage. Know this. For my future preps, I'm upgrading to a propane-powered 22 kilowatt Generac whole home generator. Now, if you're prepping for Teotihuacan, it may not be the item you need or want. For just about any other emergency situation, that will come and go. It's the shiz nitty. This will auto start up and keep my entire home working, from the central AC to the washer and dryer, fridges and freezers and lights. What's not to like is the $7K price tag that comes with a whole home standby generator, and most likely the propane bill that will come along with it as it's used. One MAG member is now interested in getting a dual fuel generator, enough to keep a small room AC unit, refrigerator, fan, and a light running. This makes me smile. The lesson has been learned. My hope is there will be follow-through. You know, each and every one of you will most likely someday be me, 65 years old. But that's provided you don't roll snake eyes during life, and provided you pay attention and learn from your mistakes, and especially learning from others and the mistakes they have made. Even those that ended up being fatal mistakes can teach others. So for the love of life, hit the subscribe button, share this with those you feel need to know it. Those 4 days were extremely challenging. Would I want to do this again? Oh, hell no. But I'm glad I passed through it. I had the opportunity to use my preps, see what worked, what didn't, and find out where I'm lacking and plan for the future. Learn and improve. I did find it encouraging that Lowe's and Tractor Supply could not keep generators in stock. A semi-truck load came in 3 separate days after Beryl hit, and both stores sold out in hours. Hopefully these folks hold on to them for the next time. SHTF, emergency situations, disasters, whatever you want to call it, is not a game for those of us with high mileage. In their rawest forms, disasters are more readily tolerated and mitigated by those who are resilient, patient, determined, and in relatively good health. Over time, it will wear down and eat alive the oldest, fragile, and impaired. But even knowing this, I will not lay down and go easily into the night. Stay safe in your endeavors and get prepared for the next one. I've got miles to go before I sleep.